Let me show you how I get this venison in my freezer. It starts with prep, and I always like to have sharp knives, especially for working on those hides. Then I have to get dressed because by the time I get to the ranch, we'll probably go straight into the blind, and it's been really cold, so I'm using my stuff that's pretty fleecy. I get my rifle all set, making sure I have hearing protection and extra ammo, and then it's time to load up the truck and hit the road. Also taking a cooler because obviously I want to be coming home with venison. This is my 9th year hunting with this family, and they're the ones who actually taught me how to hunt. So the tradition is I have to stop at Duke's and pick up some parisa, finally turn onto the ranch, and I'm greeted by the sight of deer, which is a very good sign. I want y'all to meet Marvin Sr. and Marvin. They are the ones who taught me how to hunt all those years ago. We catch up for a little bit and then get into the parisa. It is a raw meat dip hyper local to Medina County here in Texas. And then it's time to head out to the blind. We jump in the ATV and see some bunnies on the way. This is the blind we hunt in. We call it the Haven. You can see the feeder all the way down there. It's about a 120-yard shot. So we get settled into the blind, and you never know how long you're going to be here. So we just kind of talk quietly and wait for something to come out. And then you wait some more, and then you talk some more. Marvin always brings dry sausage to snack on in the blind. After a little while, we saw this doe come out. She was the only deer we saw, but she was perfect. She was a great size. She didn't have any babies with her, and I got it done. This is a low fence ranch, so the deer are free range and can go between neighbors' properties. And the family has been on this property since the 1850s, so it's cool to be part of the history. We drove back to the main house to get her gutted, skinned, and quartered, and there's nothing like a South Texas sunset. So the next day, all I had to do was load up my truck with the Yeti, which had all of the meat in it. I also had a bag that had the head and the tag in it. You have to keep the proof of sex with the meat when you transport it. Now comes the hard part. I do like to process all my deer myself, so I set up the grinder, the disposable cutting board, sharpen my knife, and get to work. I always keep the tenderloins and the back straps separate, but I do tend to grind most of the rest of it because I just find it the most versatile to use. Final step is vacuum sealing. Actually, that's not the final step because then comes the very worst part, which is all of the washing up. And that's probably the part that I like least. So finally, I am all done, and that's how I put venison in my freezer.